Hello everyone, welcome to the preview show delivered by FedEx Racing. I'm your host Alan Cavana, and with me as always, Marty Snyder from TNT. How you doing, Marty?
I'm good. It's been a slow news week.
No, it hasn't. Not at
I'm kidding.
all.
No, it's been a crazy week. It's been insane off-track stuff this week. But yeah, race this weekend was fun, and I think a lot happening. So a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we had a little late race drama in Bristol, but not in Bristol, in Michigan. We're heading to Bristol. A little late race drama in Michigan.
Week ahead.
Yeah,
Forgive them.
But ultimately, Joey Logano, he won the race. It was a dominating weekend for him.
Yeah.
This was something Ford needed. This was something Penske needed, the 22 team needed. Can we expect to see this continue, though, for the 22 team?
I wouldn't say it was a dominating weekend for him, but yeah, I think clearly they won the pole and won the race, but in the middle of the race, they were just okay. The answer to the question is yes, it can continue for the 22 team. People have asked me, what's going on with them. I liken it to going down a road. There's all these roads you can go down to find speed. Well, they went down a road a long way, and you're all of a sudden 70 miles down the road and it says road closed. They had that part taken away from them. They had to turn around. They had to find some new things. So I think now they found some speed. Clearly, Brad Keselowski's been faster. Joey Logano's been better. I think, yes, the speed can continue for them for the rest of the year. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I think, first of all, Brad Keselowski's going to win a couple of races before this is all said and done with. But I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Joey Logano and that team win a few more races this year as well.
And let's look what it did to the points, because Logano was able to help himself out. 8th through 13th, Logano's win. He vaults himself up to 13th, and he has that win, putting himself not only in contention for the wild card spot, but also the top 10. So let's look at the points. We have Keselowski, Kurt Busch, Greg Biffle, Kasey Kahne, Martin Truex, and Logano. Now, looking at that list, one of them is out. Which one will it be?
And Ryan Newman in that mix, too. I mean, he's got the wild card win as well.
Which one of this list is out?
I think it's going to be tough to say who from that list is going to be out. You asked me about a month ago, can Joey Logano and this team be in the chase? And I said yes. I never saw a Michigan win coming in that picture, though. And now if they've won a race, I'm going to say they're going to be the team out of the mix. I just think when you look at the competition they're facing, the guys they're facing are so tough. But I think at the end of the day, if you're asking for teams that are going to be out of this mix for the chase, I think it's Ryan Newman, I think it's Joey Logano. I just see the other teams being a little bit stronger in these final three races as we close into the cutoff.
Logano finally gets a win and gets no love from you.
And I gave him love a month ago, but I just think those other guys are just too tough. I mean, look at those guys: Keselowski, Kurt Busch, Kasey Kahne, Martin Truex Jr. I think they're going to be strong in the next couple of weeks. I just think it's going to be tough for Logano to make it into that mix, as well as Ryan Newman.
You mentioned all the news already this week, and we're talking silly season already for 2014.
There was news this week?
Yeah, a little bit. Who's in, who's out. But we have a lot of people still looking for rides next year. Kurt Busch, Ryan Newman, Juan Pablo Montoya. You look at that list, and those are a bunch of Cup wins of some champion drivers right there. Looking at that list, who is the most attractive free agent still out there for 2014?
Well, I think for me, no doubt, is Kurt Busch. I just think that the biggest problem with Kurt is that he's tough to sell. I think that's the problem. I talked to several car owners who are trying to kind of court him right now. They would love to have him. It's hard to get sponsorship for him, or it's hard to get a sponsor that's already there to say, yes, we want that guy. And I feel bad for Kurt because it's unfortunate, because I think he's kind of matured out of that. He's become a very good leader on that 78 team. He's been the one who's kind of said, setup-wise, here's where I want to go. Along with Todd Berrier, they've taken that team to where no one thought the 78 team could go. The answer to the question is the biggest free agent, in my opinion, no doubt, Kurt Busch, because of the talent he brings, the ability he brings, the willingness to go out there and try and win a championship, and the willingness to lead. That's a different Kurt Busch than we've seen in the past. He really has taken that team in a great direction, and they've stuck with it. And I think that's the one thing Kurt wants in this new deal, wherever he winds up going. He wants some equity in the team to say, I want to take the team in this direction. I think that shows great maturity and great leadership, and I definitely would sign Kurt Busch in a heartbeat if I could get a sponsor for him.
So they're still looking for that first win, though, in the 78 car. It could certainly come this weekend at Bristol, and that's what I'm going to ask you. Who's going to win this weekend in Bristol, the night race?
I was going to pick someone, but you already picked him because you get to pick first on this show. I don't know how that works out. We got to figure that out, Patrick. That's our producer. Anyway, I'm going to go with Kyle Busch this weekend, and here's why. I had a great conversation with Dave Rogers about kind of their focus of the chase, and they really are starting this weekend to sort of pretend they're in the chase. You look at the next three racetracks for Kyle Busch, terrific racetracks. You got Bristol, where he is arguably the most consistent driver. You've got Atlanta, where they won before, and Joe Gibbs Racing won at Atlanta last year. And you've got Richmond. If you had to pick a racetrack that is probably Kyle Busch's best racetrack on the circuit, I probably would go with Richmond, and he's very good at that racetrack. So they're kind of approaching these three races as if they're in the chase, and I think that approach is really going to put Kyle Busch in a good position this weekend. I also think Brad Keselowski is going to be good, but I have a feeling this guy's going to pick him.
Great minds think alike because it is Brad Keselowski's
That's because you
weekend.
get to go first.
Well, and because I'm smart as well, because there's no more excuses for Brad Keselowski. He needs a win. He needs it now in terms of making the chase. It could send him out of the chase if he doesn't have that win. So I'm picking him because he's had 3 top 3s in the last 4 races at Bristol, and he can just wheel around there.
And they clearly have found some speed lately. I mean, I don't know that that's going to be a big factor at Bristol, but I mean, they clearly have been a lot faster the last couple of weeks.
There's going to be a motivation factor watching his teammate win last week. And
you think so?
He's the defending champion
I
without
think
a win.
there's motivation by the fact you picked him.
Well, there you go. He owes me one.
Just saying, pressure.
He owes me one. All right, Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, may the best man win. You got anything else, Marty?
I think I'm done.
It's going to be a good
Have
weekend.
fun at Bristol this weekend.
I'll try. It's going to be a great
Enjoy
night.
it. Yeah,
a night
I'll
race
be there
every year. It's good. All right, for Marty Snyder, I'm Alan Cavana. Thank you for watching the preview show delivered by FedEx Racing. Have a great weekend.